Welcome back to the Budget Gamer channel, where we bring you critical and in-depth reviews of just about every indie game we can get our hands on, and today we're going to be taking a look at Ovivo for the Nintendo Switch. And even though, yes, Ovivo is actually yet another mobile port, it definitely makes itself a good home here on the Nintendo Switch. And for those of you who are just finding out about it, it is a pretty unabashedly bare-bones puzzle platformer. There is no story, there's really hardly even a user interface, and there's no objective that's explicitly stated. And unlike almost every single other platformer known to man, there is no jumping. Pretty much the only things you'll be able to do are either move your main character, which is the little sphere on screen, left or right, or invert the game's horizon. And this means pretty much that by pressing the A button, you'll change your little sphere main character's color from black to white or white to black, and cause it to either sink below or rise above the current horizon, switching the gravity and allowing you to platform and navigate in a completely different way. As a simple little sphere, you don't really have much power to rely on, and you can't really jump or climb or cling to anything, and you can't really even roll uphill too terribly much. So the more you play and the further you get into the game, you'll have to find more and more interesting ways to swap the horizons and flip gravity to get you past certain hurdles. And while initially this may consist merely of trying to navigate across a bit of a wavy line with ups and downs, eventually you'll have to jump over huge gaps or even find a way to launch yourself up and over certain cliffs, as well as navigate using warped space or even the occasional floating bud of a flower. But falling off of the map or running into pointing objects isn't the only danger the game has to offer. Every one of the game's 30 levels, divided into 10 different worlds, will get ever increasingly more intricate and will require a lot more prowess and skill on behalf of the player. Nearly every single level will introduce something new that will require you to develop your skills further and further in order to get to that final checkpoint. Hidden within each level, however, between the final checkpoint and the original starting point, there are going to be 3 different designs that you can find in addition to a myriad of small dots to collect. And it's these dots and designs that are really the only mark of progress that you can make throughout each level, and each and every detail that you manage to collect along your way works to build an ever-increasingly more intricate mandala that functions pretty much as your level select at the original start screen. Every design that you collect and every level that you beat will fill in a certain space, and after beating 3 levels, a new ring will be added, which will symbolize the addition of a new world. And while the game is unabashedly simple, it is also unadornedly beautiful somehow. Its incredibly simple control setup wouldn't really seem to promote much of a gaming experience, but actually provides a level of challenge that even the most seasoned gamers can respect. Additionally, at the completion of each level, the screen pans out completely to let you gaze upon the work of art that you've just managed to navigate your way through. And being a fully monochromatic game, you wouldn't really expect there to be a lot there to distract you from your platforming, but the deeper into it you go, the more there is to see. And the more there is to see, the more there is to figure out how to use this simple gaming control mechanic to navigate your way all the way to the end. And whether it's while you're running away from a dragon or while you're trying to drift between certain beams of light, you'll have to figure out how to use this switching gravity and even forces of momentum in new and innovative ways in nearly every step of the journey. And because the game is so simple, there's really not a lot there to critique. The art is artistic and maybe to some a little overly artsy, but the controls are simple and actually surprisingly tight. And in all honesty, one of the only issues with the game I could come up with deals with the game's audio. It's actually really nice and soothing and ambient, but if you do struggle on a particular level more than, say, a few minutes, you're gonna notice it repeat. But each of the game's 30 levels can actually be completed very quickly, making for a somewhat short gaming experience. But even then, establishing your own learning curve even as a skilled player, it's probably gonna take a couple hours to get to the end. So if you are a fan of more outside-the-box, innovative and artistic games, you may want to give Ovivo a try. It's definitely not a game meant to be for everybody, especially not if you're into first-person shooters or anything, but it could be a good time waster, and it's definitely a good break from some of the more hardcore fast-paced games. But anyway, that does about wrap up the review of Ovivo on the Nintendo Switch. So if you enjoyed the review, and especially if you found it helpful, feel free to throw me a like or a comment to show your support, and don't forget to click that little bell icon when you subscribe to stay updated with the latest content. There are new and unique indies coming out literally every single day, so there's always going to be some new game to discover right here. But if you want to get more involved with the channel, see which reviews are coming up next, or just see what I'm up to in general, you can check out any of the links in the bottom right corner of our channel's banner for Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, or even Discord if you want to talk to some other gamers. But anyway, this has been Budget Gamer, so as always, thanks for watching.